Watauga Arts Council with your host, Cherry Johnson, serving arts in Watauga County for more than 30 years.
Hi, I'm Cherry Johnson with Watauga County Arts Council, and we in our gallery this month are so excited to be welcoming an artist that has been on our schedule for a while, although you were originally scheduled for October. This is Franz. And because we did all the jiggle juggles moving from one place to another this summer, our schedule got slightly turned around. So it just happened that I didn't have somebody scheduled for November, and it just happened I had one too many in October. So Craig was kind enough to scoot over a month. So you have a brand new show that you literally just hung. I mean, yesterday you hung this show. And it is a very nice show. It shows really nicely in the gallery, I think. You know, you've got, most of your work tends to be realistic, a little bit smaller, some rather cool looking frames, some of which he made himself. And tell me about where you're going with your work these days, Craig. You've exhibited with the Arts Council before.
Yeah, it'll be 3 years, I believe, this March since the last show. That show was primarily pastels.
That's true.
And in the past 2 years, I've started to paint in oils. And so this show that we hung yesterday is primarily oils. I'm a traditional impressionistic landscape painter.
Right.
I call it traditional now, kind of in the mold of the Impressionists, French Impressionists.
Right, right.
Objective, subjective in my topics. When you look at my artwork, you know what you're looking at.
That's true.
A little bit expressionistic with my colors, but for the most part, I try to be traditional.
Your colors are slightly brighter than reality really is. I mean, there's a little more green to the greens, a little more blue to the blues, you know, overall, but it just adds a fresh look to the whole appearance of the piece, I think.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's necessary to do that with paints. You paint plein air, and a lot of my painter friends, they try to capture the exact colors of the scene. I'm not there yet. Yeah. I still have to rely on some of the techniques and tricks of painting landscapes to create depth. And you do that by using muted colors, blues in the distant backgrounds, and brighter, warmer colors as you come forward.
Now, what's different about working in pastels and oils?
Well, I still enjoy the pastels. I still work in those as well. What's the difference? The concepts are basically the same. I'm working dark to light.
Exactly.
The oils allow me to get outside, which I've done the past year and a half.
They don't dry before you're done.
Well, exactly, but my pastel palette takes up a table. You know, chalks is what they're
yes.
A lot of people know them as. The oil paints, you go with your tripod and your palette, and you have just a handful of colors, and you have to mix your own color, which is a whole different kind of beast as far as the learning curve. You have to learn how to mix color and value. But the oil paints allow me to paint outside.
Right.
And been enjoying that with hit and miss success. It's proves to be a little more difficult, especially if you're in bright sunlight, to get your colors correct and values.
Well, it is a completely different approach, really, because with pastels, you are layering colors and you are playing with colors, but when you're stirring it up, literally, or adding layers of color on with oils, it's a whole different technique completely. My experience is that oils, especially if you let the undercoat dry just a little bit, whatever you put on top, that's the color you're getting. You're not getting what's underneath, but I bet with pastels, you're still picking up the color that's underneath the color.
Yeah, you get a depth of color with your pastels. But with oils, I paint like you just described. I paint it and then I paint it again.
Yes.
I let it tack up and then I go back in and dry brush or add additional
lighter
colors,
stuff.
and that creates a depth to your colors in your painting.
Does. And you mentioned that you paint from dark to light, and for those who aren't familiar with painting, watercolors pretty much works the reverse. And so you have to think basically backwards in my mind, because I learned on oils. And so you have to think light to dark with watercolors, and you have to think, I've got to leave that white because I'm not going to be able to go back and add white to it really and make it look like I want it to. So you have to think in reverse. Whereas my experience with oils is that a lot of things can be fixed with oils.
Yeah.
You can go back and make a lot of changes.
Very forgiving, yeah. You palette knife, scrape it off and start over.
That's true. But if you stir it too much on the canvas, you're going to end up with mud.
Mud, yeah, yes. Yeah, that's, like I said earlier, that learning curve and learning how to mix paint is the biggest obstacle for a painter, I believe.
Now, did the size of your work change at all when you changed mediums?
Well, I have produced primarily small paintings the past year, yeah. And what's at the show is, I think there's nothing larger than an 11 by 14. I just enjoy working the smaller scale, not only because they're more marketable, but with limited time. I have a real job and a endless honey-do list, so with lack of or limited time, I'm able to produce the smaller pieces and move on, complete one and then move on to the next. And I've got a couple places, including the Main Street Gallery in Blowing Rock, which I've just become a member to, that allows me limited space, so the smaller paintings are
more fit
better with that situation.
Yeah. Well, and like you said, it's more marketable because you can afford to be slightly lower in the price because you're not dealing as large a canvas as you would,
Exactly.
Bigger costs more. So.
And when you're working outdoors, you usually don't paint any larger than 9 by 12, 8 by 10.
Especially if it's windy.
Yeah.
Now, you are a bit of a craftsman in a lot of ways. Not only does he make some of his frames and does a very nice job of that, but you also have a wife who, let's give a plug for Jennifer.
Sure, oh yeah. I'm glad you reminded me, or else I'd be in the doghouse tonight. Jennifer is she dabbles in a little of everything: ceramics, jewelry, beads, blanking out here.
Aprons and pillowcases.
Aprons, yes, she's a seamstress.
We've got some of those things at the gallery.
A fabric artist as well. But Friday night, which is the night of the opening, November 2nd, this coming Friday, I'll be at the Watauga Arts Council Gallery, and she'll be at Gladiola Girls, which is up the street next to Hands, I believe, and the old movie theater. But she'll have a table with her stamped jewelry that she's going to be trying.
Which I understand you have a little bit of hand in yourself. So he is a bit of a craftsman. She showed me some really cool necklaces that we don't yet have in the gallery. I hope we'll get them very soon. That are dominoes. And varied pieces of jewelry made out of dominoes that are painted and then all these different things done to them. But you're the man that sands down, attaches things, glues together, whatever it is, some of this stuff.
Well, you've given me more credit than I deserve there. I help her out when necessary to do the drilling and to create displays and give her, she's always asking advice. And,
well, it's nice that you have this to share.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, and she's my best critic too with my paintings.
Not your harshest critic?
She's pretty tough. She's pretty tough, but well, we'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. Jennifer's bound to see this. But I do hope you're going to come and not just enjoy Craig's wonderful paintings, because they are wonderful, but also come and catch a taste of some of his wife Jennifer's work as well, along with a lot of other things. We've got some really cool stuff in the gallery these days. And I'm very, very proud of our artists. We sent out a mailing recently to the craftsmen that are in the craftsmen and artists that are in the gift shop portion, and I mailed out 66 envelopes. And so that's a lot of local artists that are represented, and Jennifer's one of them. But I'm so thankful that we've got a combination space, because we've got a space where we can showcase great art on the wall in a gallery format. And we have 2 gallery spaces, and you've got the main gallery, and the other space is the Serendipity Gallery. And then we've got the gift shop as well. So we've kind of really gained. We once had 3 galleries and no gift shop, and now we have 2 galleries and a gift shop. And I told Craig yesterday, I feel like in a way we're doing a better service to the local artists that way, because we're offering more opportunities to a more of a variety of artists. We've got everything from books to CDs to Jennifer's little pieces would never make a gallery exhibit. She would not do a full-fledged gallery show. And so, but you know, so this offers people like her an opportunity to exhibit their work right beside folks like Craig. So it's really kind of neat that we combine this all together. I will mention the reception is the first Friday, which I think is the 2nd, at 5:30, or excuse me, 6:30, 6:30 till 8:30. And we will be open right on through. We're open all afternoon, and we'll stay open, but the official reception part won't start till about then. But we will also have music, and we will also have an author, a local author, who will be there as well. So it's a smorgasbord of the arts. It's not just visual art, but it's all kinds of different art forms. So it's kind of a neat thing. It says a lot about the Arts Council's efforts to serve the whole community through all the arts. And so we're very grateful to you for hanging in there with us.
Oh yeah, no problem. I'm thankful that you give me this opportunity again. I mean, we just lost our Arts Council in Avery.
You did.
Unfortunately, and you know, it's to step up and support our local Arts Council is important. And my exhibit, I would say, you know, if you can make it Friday evening, to definitely come by in November and see it. It's worth seeing.
I totally agree with you. So definitely come and enjoy Craig's work this month. And you've got until just after Thanksgiving. We always take down the show on the Monday before the first Friday of each month. So that kind of is a backwards way of telling you how it goes. But generally speaking, like for example, we just switched out his work on, I guess it was the 29th of October. For an exhibit. Exhibit will actually officially open on November the 2nd. So that kind of gives you a taste on how we do that. So the work is there available to you. Our gallery hours, incidentally, so that you can come and enjoy his work. We're always open every Saturday and Sunday from noon until 6. Excuse me, Friday and Saturday from noon until 6, and Sunday from 3 to 6. Plus, we moved my office to the gallery a month and a half ago. And that has made it possible for us to have it open even more hours. So in essence, it's open anytime that staff is around. And if you're trying to hit a specific time, you want to make sure we're there, we advise you to call us at 264-1789. But you can always come in during the regular gallery hours, again, Friday, noon to 6, Saturday, noon to 6, and Sunday, 3 to 6. We hope you're going to join us at the reception and meet Craig and get to know him personally. But even if you miss him personally, come and enjoy his work. Please check our website, watauga-arts.org. You're going to see some things about this and so much more.
Watauga Arts Council with your host, Cherry Johnson, serving arts in Watauga County for more than 30 years.